Yo, what's up, guys? Demo here. Welcome to my first match of the SDA Season 1, Week 1. I'm your coach of the Tennessee Tyrants, and this week we are up against GoldoaDragon and the New York Empoleon. So, pretty interesting matchup. I think there's a couple pretty interesting interactions. Like, if we take a look at his team, he's got Blossom, Clefable, Drapion, Komoa without Clangorous, Mew, Noctowl, Quagsire, Rotom Frost, Scizor, Spectrier, and Torracat. I think the biggest threat, just looking at the matchup, is going to be the Spectre, obviously. But I think that we've pretty much figured out a way to check it pretty reliably in terms of our preparation for the match anyways. Mew can also be a really, really big threat. Like a Salicberry Belly Drum Como could also be pretty good as well. And there's, I mean, just Torracat, Scizor, and Quag just provide a really good defensive backbone for his team, in addition to Clefable, because like a Babiri Clefable will be able to deal with its checks in our matchup. So, or Kebby Berry if he decides that he wants to bring that. Yeah, just going ahead and looking at our team. First up, we do have our Shedskin Chillonberry Scrafty with Toxic Knockoff, Rest, and Super Fang. 248 HP, 4 defense, 164 special defense, and 92 speed. The speed just to outspeed his slower mons. 164 special defense to take a +2 Hyper Beam with the Chillonberry from Spectrier, because Hyper Beam is going to be Spectrier's only chance in hell of breaking this Scrafty specifically. And Scrafty actually deals with a lot of his Pokemon pretty well with this spread. So Scrafty is obviously going to be like a pretty pivotal Pokemon for this game. But next up, we have our Colberberry Slowking G with Trick Room, Nasty Plot, Sludge Wave, and Fire Blast. 244 HP, 60 defense, and 204 special attack. I mean, the plan with this Mon is to come out on like a Clefable or something similar, like a defensive or more passive Pokemon in the matchup, or at least a Pokemon that doesn't really match up with it super well, and be able to set up Trick Room, Nasty Plot, pretty much just fire off Sludge Waves and Fire Blasts. The only thing about this set, though, is it does get walled by Komoa, but we do have a lot of other stuff that can deal with it specifically. Yep, that's going to be that set. And next up, we have our Scarf Cart. Max attack, 188 speed, just to outspeed a like a max speed Mew. With Leaf Blade, Smart Strike, Knockoff, and Defog. I didn't really need a last move, so I just threw Defog on there in case he wants to start like stacking hazards. And next up, we have our Zeraora with the heavy duty boots. In case he does end up stacking hazards, this is going to be a pretty good win con in the end game with max attack, 156 speed, 92 HP, and Play Rough, Volt Switch, Plasma Fist, and Blaze Kick. This specific set can pretty much hit everything outside of the Quag, and our team is relatively like weak to Quag, so Kartana is going to be really important to, preserve in the game. And then next up, we have sort of like an offensive pivot Lando T. More than likely going to be my lead, unless he has like Ice Beam or something on Mew, but that's why I have the Focus Sash in case he does have Ice Beam on Mew. With Rock Tomb, U-Turn, Stealth Rock, and Earthquake. Rock Tomb just to slow down something like the Spectrier, in case he wants to like bring it in, or even like Mew or anything like that as well. Pretty much anything faster than him that wants to switch in. And be able to pretty much just kill it with an Earthquake for the most part. But our last Pokemon is going to be the Comfey. Another heavy-duty Bootsmon with Giga Drain, Draining Kiss, Aromatherapy, and Calm Mind. Aromatherapy just to ensure that status stays off of the rest of my Pokemon. Obviously, that's not really going to be that big of a deal for Scrafty. This is a pretty good win con as well, just because of the priority on Giga Drain and Draining Kiss, but obviously it does get walled by the Scizor. I have to keep that in mind. That's the team, guys. Looking forward to a really good game with Goldoa, and I will see you guys in the match. Okay, before we get started with the battle, I do want to preface that my microphone audio did not record with the battle. And it's more than likely going to be the case with week 2 as well, because at the time of recording this post-com, that battle's already done. So, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this battle. Goldoa is a fantastic battler, and I'm going to do my best to post-com. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. But here at Team Preview, just looking, for the most part, it was kind of what I expected. Instead of Torracat, I was kind of expecting the Clefable. Just because Babiri Clef was a really nice check to cart, just because a flamethrower with like unaware to, even in case like it was able to revenge something and get beast boost off, was a really, really nice check to it. So kind of unfortunate not to see it here. And this is also the point where I made my first blunder, which was not writing down or taking note of the Pokemon that he had brought. So by the time that we were in the battle, I had already forgotten like some of the mons that he brought, specifically Drapion and Torracat. Yeah, we do take our time, and we do decide just to go for the Lando pick right out of the gate. And but yeah, we do decide to just go ahead and lead with Lando. Kind of almost just like a no drawback play, depending on what he leads. And at this point, I'm thinking he probably is going to lead Mew, and he would lead Mew if he had Ice Beam. And at this point, I'm not really in what you would consider panic mode, but I'm not really I wasn't really thinking clearly, and I was more focused on, I guess, having a good time in the beginning than actually trying to, make things work. Obviously, this is like a very first experience or very new experience, and he obviously does lead out, or he leads with the Mew, and we lead with Lando T. Instead of getting up rocks like I should, right here, I just go straight for the U-turn instead of doing anything else. And at this one, like, if he has Ice Beam, it's going to knock us down to the Sash, and he does immediately reveal the Ice Beam, which is something that I should have written down, but I didn't. And so we are revealed to be Focus Sash. That is consumed, and Lando's essentially out of the fight already, just turn 1, and we're basically playing 5v6, but that was definitely revealed to be like a bulky Mew, or a little bit, or like, I mean, obviously not like a full offensive Mew. And then right here, we waste a lot of time just doing calcs, which is something that I kind of blundered on in this first fight. Obviously, with showdown fights, it's going to be a lot easier to deal with the timer, just because it's going to be a lot easier to deal with the timer, just because like you don't. It's a long timer. But right here, we just switch out into our Comfey because aside from Scrafty, it's going to be our most specially defensive Pokemon. But I also didn't want to risk him having Dazzling Gleam, so I didn't go out into the Scrafty. But here, I believe we just go for a Calm Mind, which definitely wasn't the play. I think we should have just... I think here, we either should have doubled out or... just gone for Chip, but he knocks off our boots, and we just go straight for the Calm Mind. Again, he revealed another move on Mew, and I did not write it down. I was solely focused on making potential calcs and stuff like that. So this match was definitely a learning experience, and I expect a coach like Goldoa not to hold back at all, and he definitely didn't. And it was it's a really, really good game. At this point, anyways. But we're already on like turn 3, turn 4, and we've already consumed almost a minute and a half of our time out of the 10 minutes that we get. But he does withdraw his Mew and goes straight out into the Scizor, which is kind of like the obvious switch out, or the obvious Pokemon to switch out into. And fearing a bullet, I'm fearing a bullet punch at this point, so. I mean, what I'm going to do is pretty much just switch out. I kind of have to. And at this point, I believe I switch out into Landorus just to get the Intimidate off so I can freely get something else in. And I believe that is what I actually end up doing. So, yeah, here we go. We end up going out into the Landorus just to, get the Intimidate off, just to sack it off. Because Landorus is pretty much out of the fight. It only has 1 HP, so there's not really much it can do. Anything with priority is going to kill it. Polano comes out, we get the Intimidate off, and he does just click the Bullet Punch here, which is what I expected. And in this game, at least this far, in my original commentary, it was, being pretty good about predicting like what it is that he's going to pick, but my choices in this game did not reflect it whatsoever. But here, I believe we just go straight out into Slow King G. And we are wasting a lot of time here doing calcs. But it be like that sometimes. And at this point, I'm thinking it's a really good opportunity just to go out into Slow King G just to get off Trick Room, potentially a nasty plot, and just start killing stuff. And that is what I ultimately decide to do. Because we did have the Blaze Kick on Zera, but I didn't think it was going to kill it, and I didn't want to give it the boots on it just yet. And I really am thinking about clicking Trick Room here, and I think that would have been a bit of a better play. But clicking Fire Blast was kind of almost like a no drawback, because regardless of whatever he switched into, we were going to get some chip. Even the Torcat. So instead of just going for the Fire Blast like I'm thinking about doing, I decided to make another calc and waste some more time. And he just goes straight for the U-turn. Which, not a bad play, just getting some momentum, getting some chip. But whatever comes in is going to take this Fire Blast, provided that it connects. And he goes straight out into the Drapion, which is the counter that I suspected for the Slow King Galar. I didn't think he was going to bring, or I didn't think he was going to use Spectrier as a direct counter to Slow King G. I thought Drapion was going to do it. And getting the burn on it was a really, really good moment for this game. Or for me anyways, but, you know, we're pushing almost half of our time already consumed in like the first 5 or 6 turns. So I know something kind of has to change. And once I realized like how much time I was actually using, I start panicking. And instead of going for like a Trick Room setup so that I could get some more chip with Slow King, I instead just go for the Fire Blast. And we do reveal to be Cold Berry because he goes straight for the knockoff, and we kind of just eat that up. So yeah, pretty nice. Well, I mean, he also was burned, but we just go ahead and knock this thing out with Fire Blast. I mean, so we are now we're at 5-5. Lando's down, and Drapion is down. But I am panicking because it doesn't really seem like I'm going to be able to finish the game just because I've been taking so long making my picks this far. And he goes straight out into the Spectrier. So after Drapion's down, Spectrier is like his only good way to take care of it outside of like a knockoff or U-turn on Scizor. But I did not want to take a Shadow Ball on this thing, so I believe I do switch out into Scrafty. Which is exactly what we do. We just go ahead and swap out into Scrafty, which is designed to be our direct counter for this mon. And he does put in the sub. And the set that I prepared for in mocks, there was a couple different ones. Like a sub, Will-O-Wisp, Taunt, and Hex with like a lefties was really good. Also like a sub Nasty Plot with Hex and Hyper Beam was also really good as well. Just because the Hyper Beam was the only way that he was going to be able to break through Scrafty with this mon specifically. Because even Mudshot really wasn't doing all that much. But we do get that turn one Shed Skin, so Shed Skin coming through already. And we can just spam knockoff here. We also have Toxic. I was contemplating picking that as well, but at this point, it's kind of just like we got to just start clicking because I'm going to run out of time if I, you know, keep taking a long time to figure out what the hell I want to do. So we just go straight for it. But he does go ahead and switch out the Spectrier, which, you know, is a pretty good play. Just because Spectrier can't really risk going down at this point in the game, because it is a really good win con, and his only real choice is to get rid of Scrafty so that Spectrier can go in versus the rest of my team. But here I believe we just go straight out into cart. But instead, we actually go out into Comfey. Well, I guess I'm not remembering the game properly then. But yeah, we just go ahead and come out into Comfey. And, you know, the play for him is to go out into Scizor again, obviously. But goes ahead and gets up Reflect. And I'm assuming he got up Reflect just so that he could better deal with both Zeraora and Cart. In addition to being able to have Spectrator live a knockoff after the... or basically live a knockoff. Or its sub lives a knockoff, I mean. But here we're kind of just fumbling around because at this point I don't know what to do. I'm confused. I've already forgotten what Pokemon he brought. So, I mean, this one's definitely like a huge learning experience because I feel like week one making all the mistakes was what I wanted to do. So we go out into Slowbro just to try to get some momentum and get up some Trick Room. But he does just Volt Switch out, so he actually gets the momentum on this turn and is able to freely go out into something like Spectrier or even Scizor. But I don't think he'd go out into Scizor here just because of the Fire Blast. I think Spectrier makes the most sense. And even Torracat could be pretty good as well, just because I've revealed Fire Blast, and Torracat will be able to sit out on it. But he does go out into the Mew, which is a really good play, so this has me thinking he probably has Psyshock. And I don't really want to get hit with a Psyshock, so here I switch out again. I believe I switch out again. I mean, that's kind of what I'm doing here, so... But I go ahead and just go out into Comfey. And this kind of just lures in Scizor. And he just starts setting up spikes, which is a huge nuisance. And I just... And at this point, I'm already like at 4 minutes of my timer, so... I believe this is the point in the game where I just start spamming Draining Kiss, because I just want this thing to die. But obviously, Draining Kiss isn't the smartest way to get rid of it. So, but I actually did like surprising chunk of damage considering like it resists. I was able to like top me off basically. But here we are going to switch out again, and I believe we switch out into Cart this time. Maybe it's Slowking. I really don't remember. I do think I start spamming Draining Kisses here. I don't think I go out into anything. But yeah, we're already like reaching our move time limit. Now we just go out into Cart here, which is what I thought. So, and man, I really love Cart's design. But we do take the spikes damage. And he goes straight for the Bullet Punch, which is not really going to do much, and we just kind of eat it up. So Reflect wears off, which is really good. And we could just freely go for a knockoff here. And out into Torracat he goes. Getting rid of this Eviolite on this thing with the knockoff is going to be like really, really nice for the remainder of the game. But I obviously don't want to stay in versus the versus this, so we just go out into something else. And we decide to go out into the Comfey, which obviously is not the brightest play, but, you know, I'm not really making the brightest moves anyways at this point in the game. You can go straight for the flamethrower, so likely a special Torcat here. And the fact that this thing doesn't have habits of Yolite anymore is going to be really, really nice later on whenever we want to start cleaning up with Zeraora. Unfortunately, we did let Lando go down, so it won't be that mon won't be able to deal with Torcat, obviously, because it's dead. So, but here we just go out into Scrafty, not really fearing anything from this Torcat. So, and he just goes straight for the Parting Shot. Parting Shot's obviously a really, really strong move. I actually did kind of want Parting Shot, but he picked it up before I was able to. Or he picked it up before I did. I'm pretty sure I was able to before it, but I just didn't. Because at least in this week 1 match, my my team is a little bit somewhat questionable. And he goes straight out into the Rotom. Just get up a Reflect, I imagine. So we just go straight for the Toxic here, I believe. We haven't revealed Super Fang yet, so he just goes straight for the Will-O-Wisp. And I thought it was interesting that he kept trying to burn the Scrafty, just because I had already revealed that I was Shed Skin, so Will-O-Wisping was pretty moot, I think. And being able to bring in Scrafty just to absorb status was something that I was really thinking about when taking into consideration his team. Because, I mean, a lot of his stuff can use Toxic and Will-O-Wisp, so it's going to be really nice to get rid of it. But he goes and puts up the Reflect, and you know, with the burn and the Reflect, the knockoff probably wouldn't even break the Spectre or so. But we do go ahead and reveal the Super Fang here just to chunk this thing down. And he takes a round of Toxic damage, which does put him in range of everything, so he can't exactly come back in and use this as a switch-in on anything. You know, I contemplated going Toxic here as well, just because he's obviously going to switch out here, or Volt switch out here. But I do just go for the knockoff, as you've seen it, right there. And he goes straight out into the Torcat, so I definitely think that it would have been really nice to go straight for the Toxic again, just to put another one of his Pokemon on a timer. But at this point, we are kind of just playing, I guess not really like Stolly, but he can't really break the Scrafty, so just keeping the Scrafty out on the field is kind of just like a no drawback thing at this point in time. So we do, if you look at this point, we have a minute 33 to try and finish the rest of this game, so I'm really just panicking, so I go ahead and rest up, even though I don't need to. And I don't think I've even revealed the rest yet, but that is our last move. And we go ahead and reveal it, so no status is going to be affecting us regardless of what happens. I didn't bring Rest Talk just because I brought Shed Skin, and you don't really need Shed Skin, especially considering that I have Aromatherapy in the back. But here we do try to just go for the Toxic. He goes straight for the Parting Shot, so we're going to be doing like 0 damage to anything. But he does know our full set, so. Go straight out into the Scizor. And I don't really know what he wants to do at this point, or I didn't know what he really wants to do at this point, coming out into Scizor, just because he'd revealed to, you know, be U-turn and Bullet Punch. He could be like a maybe like a superpower set, but I just go ahead and switch out into Ponzu, kind of fearing that, and he instead opts to go for the Swords Dance, which means that whatever comes next is going to hit really, really hard. So now I'm thinking he's maybe like Swords Dance, Roost, U-Turn, and Bullet Punch, which would make some sense as well, but, you know, whatever. And then he just goes ahead and U-turns out, and this is going to absolutely mutilate the health bar of Slowking G, because obviously we're a more offensive Slowking G. He needs to go straight out into the Mew. And we just click Fire Blast, which is unfortunate that we missed it, because that would have gotten off some really, really good damage for us. But right now, I don't have the time to think about my moves. I kind of just gotta go. I just gotta make them. But I did want to switch out just so I could get a little bit of health back. So we go out to Comfey, out on the Mew, and I believe Scizor is going to come back in. But he just goes straight for the knockoff. We don't have boots anyway, so it's really not that big of a deal. But we decided to go for the aromatherapy here just to, you know, clear off the sleep. But he just starts spamming spikes again. Pretty no drawback for him. Just to get up some more layers of spikes so that whenever my Pokemon come in, that's going to put them in range of more things. But then at this point, we just start spamming Draining Kiss, which, you know, albeit a good move, not the best move for what I was trying to do here. We just kept clicking Draining Kiss just because I wanted this thing to just die. And he does just get up his final layer of spikes. I thought this was going to be... I thought he was just going to, you know, start trying to kill this thing, because at this point I am just spamming Draining Kiss. And instead of doing that, I probably should have spammed stuff like either Giga Drain or Aromatherapy, just to like let him know that, hey, I'm trying to kill this thing. Please kill it. We go straight out into the Torracat. We go for another Draining Kiss. Some more chip off. And that's kind of the thing, is like I just wanted to get some chip on stuff before I let this thing die. And honestly, I should have sacked off Slowking instead of Draining Kissing. But Slowking did still have that Fire Blast, and if I could get like a couple more regen switches out, then it'd be in a better position to deal with the rest of his team. But I definitely think it was the weakest Pokemon out of the bunch. Definitely the weakest in terms of health. But at this point, I'm literally, I just got my controller and I'm just going on the button, just trying to click my moves. Obviously you can't hear that, but... But he goes back out into Scizor. What do I do here? Who knows? I believe I do go out into Slowking, though, and just sack it off after realizing that Comfey dying is not really in the cards for me. But we just switch it out and go straight out into Slowking. And take the spike damage, which is fine. Goes for Bullet Punch just to knock us out. And man, that shiny goes good. But we go out into Zeraora, and we have 5 seconds left. And I'm still taking a long time to pick. But we had 1 second left. Or 0 seconds left, I should say. We made that move literally just in time. But this turn's going to be the last turn of the game. And unfortunately, we missed the Blaze Kick. And instead of ending at 5-4, or ending at 4-4, it's ended 5-4. Which, you know, sometimes it just be like that. But we lose to GoldoaDragon. We lose our week 1 match, which is, you know, GG, he played really well. Capitalized on a lot of my mistakes. And I hope to play him again after, you know, I've gotten used to and adapted to the game, because I don't think that match in particular was an accurate reflection of my skill. I feel like he would have won had the game persisted, and I know it does kind of suck on the winning side to lose or to like win a game due to timer, just because, like, you know, like as a completionist myself, I like the games to actually pan out, which is why I don't really like the timer. But, like, you know, the timer's not something that you can just get rid of. It's going to be a part of this sort of like Wi-Fi competitive meta, and, you know, if I want to compete in it, I gotta get used to it. So hopefully by week 2 I will have, you know, made some adjustments into the way that I prep and to the like the comprehensive nature of my prep, and have, you know, figured out a way to quickly make decisions. But overall, fantastic game. Next week we're up against the Vegas Golden Corbinites and their coach Brendan, and hopefully that's going to be a really good game as well. We made a couple of free agency trades, so it's gonna be a wild one. And yeah, well, we're starting this league 0-1, so I mean, it just be like that sometimes. Hopefully we can clap back with a win next week, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.